Peace. I'm Queen Elle. I'm an astrologer, and we are going to talk about everything that's taking place in the cosmos for the rest of February. Let's get started. I have my notebook handy, and we will discuss all of the transits taking place over the next almost couple of weeks for the rest of February. And we have some major transits taking place. First, pull your chart. You can use any of the free websites online. I like astro.com, astro-seek.com. There are plenty of resources. I prefer looking at charts from the default Placidus system, and there are many other ways to view your chart. We are referring to Western astrology, so that's what we will be discussing together today. When I say we, I'm talking about you and I. We will do this together. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section, and I will respond to your question in a timely manner. So let's dive in. My previous video, I discussed the Saturn and Neptune conjunction taking place in the sign of Aries. Saturn enters Aries February 13th for the first time in the past 28 and a half-ish years. Saturn will form a perfect conjunction with Neptune on February 20th. But we have other things taking place in between, in the meantime. And I'm going to talk you through some of the things that I have observed. So let's dive in. Like I said, pull your chart. The reason you want to pull your chart is because even though I will be discussing the transits that are taking place in real time, and your chart reflects a snapshot in time of the date, time, and location of your birth, whenever that was, but you can apply your natal chart and should apply your natal chart placements to what is happening in real time. Just like how we know that the moon controls the tides, and we have full moon energy, new moon energy, first and last quarter energy, everything in between energy, we actually feel the energy of the placements that are taking place right now in real time. And you can look at your natal chart to see, oh, we have a new moon solar eclipse coming up in the sign of Aquarius. Let me look at my chart and see, where do I have Aquarius in my chart? What house do I have aligned with Aquarius in my chart? Do I have any placements in Aquarius in my chart? Oh, those placements, based off of where they are in my chart and what aspect of my life is impacted by that Aquarius energy. Now in real time, we're having the new moon and the sun in the sign of Aquarius, and that can affect me based off of where Aquarius is aligned to in my chart. That is how you can practically align the information in your natal chart, and you can apply it to present time. Okay, it's a lot of information. It can get really deep down into the rabbit hole, but I'm a rabbit hole kind of girly, so I will do the work for you. Stick around. We will discuss all the things. You can pause, reflect, save this video, return back to it, and use it. Like, pull out your notepad, use it to apply to your life. Okay. So, like I said, I have my notebook. I've written down all of the things. And the first thing, just going in chronological order, we have, and I'm going to tell you my thought process. So I knew we had on February 17th, we have this new moon annular solar eclipse. What does that mean? A new moon solar eclipse occurs when the new moon rather, goes between Earth and the sun. And so it blocks sunlight either partially or fully to Earth. In this case, this is a new moon annular solar eclipse. Now that means that there will not be, Earth will not be totally blocked from the sun. Rather, there will be what's called a ring of light or a ring of fire. And that is essentially what it will look like. So it won't be a total blocking of sunlight. We'll see that ring. Now, the peak for this annular solar eclipse is 7:01 a.m. on February 17th. Let me double check. Yes, 7:01 a.m. Eastern Time on February 17th. So what does that mean? This is taking place in the sign of Aquarius, and the new moon of Aquarius, new moon in Aquarius, it is a first new moons are always a great time to set intentions. It's a time for fresh starts, new beginnings. So every month when there's a new moon, you can use the new moon energy for that purpose. Pardon the outside noise. Sorry about that. New moon in Aquarius, even more so. Aquarius energy is all about um, setting yourself apart from everyone else. It's about um, the fresh starts. It's about freedom. It's about even a sense of rebellion from the restraints and the shackles of certain systems and mindsets. Now, I will tell you, as I was thinking about what this energy would bring to us, I said to myself, as I was thinking, okay, this is a great time for fresh starts. On the 13th, we have that Saturn in Aries energy. 17th, we have that eclipse. February 18th, we have the sun entering Pisces. So it'll be Pisces season. That's my season. And then February 24th is the first quarter moon in Gemini. And first quarter moons, we have the lunar cycle. The first quarter moon is a time to actually take action and to make some things happen. So, with your setting intentions for that new moon eclipse energy, which is really enhanced because it's an eclipse, so not just the new moon energy, but it's enhanced energy, it is truly compelling us to take charge of our lives. So, I would recommend for that first to look at your Aquarius energy in your chart, where you have Aquarius, if you have placements, especially if you have multiple placements in Aquarius. This is going to be a heightened, emotionally charged time for you. But this is also a great opportunity to make some plans, implement some plans. This is also what's considered the Lunar New Year. So, Happy New Year for my folks that celebrate this time as the Lunar New Year. Okay. However, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this is great. This is great. Take charge, start things. Let's implement some things. Let's, it's a fresh new beginning. And then I had a thought. I bet we have a Mercury retrograde coming up, though, which would put the brakes on some of this take charge energy. So I looked, and sure enough, we do have a Mercury retrograde. It is coming up on February 26th in Pisces. What does that mean? Now, one might say, oh, well, that Mercury retrograde isn't taking place until later in the month of February. So we got some time to shake some stuff up, make something happen, make some moves, right? Wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. Mercury retrogrades, so, they get a bad rap with good reason. They are like the author of confusion and whatnot. Mercury retrogrades occur about 4 or 5 times per year. They last about 3 weeks. So this energy, we're talking about February 26th until March 20th. Those 3 weeks, that's how long the retrograde is going to take. But just like how I hear it more common when we talk about full moons and new moons, the shadow periods, a few days before, a few days after, depending on the orbit length for the energy that we're talking about. The planets or the luminaries, which are the moon and the sun, that will determine how long the shadow period is. So the moon has such a quick orbit that the moon's shadow periods are 3 days before and 3 days after the actual event that we're talking about. Mercury's orbit is such that the shadow period before and after Mercury retrograde is 2 weeks. So if Mercury will be in retrograde from February 26th until March 20th, the pre-shadow period will be 2 weeks before February 26th. The post-shadow period is 2 weeks after March 20th. And so every time we have a Mercury retrograde, I mean, not to rain on anybody's parade of the fresh starts, but that's essentially a 7-week period of time. So if we count backwards 2 weeks from February 26th, when the Mercury retrograde in Pisces starts, that's kind of putting us at February 12th, which we're already in that time. What does that mean? It's not a need for like alarms to be set off or red flags or anything. It's just to make you aware that the energy is gradually ripening for the upcoming Mercury retrograde in Pisces on February 26th. So, yes, we have the take charge energy that's coming up. We have the time for the Lunar New Year. We have the first quarter moon in Gemini coming up February 24th. I just want to make you aware. I feel like that's my responsibility to make folks aware. So just be aware. We have the upcoming Mercury retrograde. Use your discernment. Use your discernment. I can't say that enough. Tap into your intuition. We all have this innate ability to pick up on the energy, and also it will just put things into perspective. Because this Mercury retrograde is taking place in the sign of Pisces, I implore you to look at your chart, look and see where you have Pisces in your chart, and that is the area of your life that there may be a bit of tension in the area of communication. That's the area of your life that you should really tap into your higher self, your Ori, to really tap into your intuition and check in with self before reacting to something, before lashing out, because the other energy is still taking place. Mercury retrograde does not supersede anything, it does not override what else is going on. All of this stuff is like woven together and interconnected. Just like how we are multifaceted as people, the energy, it's always something going on in the midst. And it's important for us while all of this stuff is going on. It's like I'm looking at you, and you. While all of this is going on, it's important to just keep in mind, oh, I have these placements in this house, so that may be the reason why this area is as it is. Or when I'm setting intentions for this particular area of my life, because we have that new moon solar eclipse taking place in Aquarius, I'm looking at my Aquarius stuff, but I have to keep in mind that my neighboring house that's in the sign of Pisces, that there may be a little bit of confusion in that area, or that's the area that I shouldn't execute anything, that I should kind of hold off. I can plan, but not implement things in that Pisces area until we get past the shadow period that comes after the retrograde. And that post shadow period for the Pisces Mercury retrograde is April 3rd. I will talk some more about that, because it's not to say that you shouldn't do anything in that area. It's just a warning sign. It's just a proceed with caution sign. And that's how you should look at it. It's a yellow flag. So we have some red flag energy sometimes, but we work with that as well. this is the yellow flag energy. So just keep that in mind, okay? So, checking my notes. Also, for um, this solar eclipse time, this is the first annular solar eclipse, or I believe the first new moon solar eclipse taking place along the Aquarius Leo axis since 2019. So, this is really a time this week or so of February. It's a great time to look at the anything that needs to be shaken up in your life. Um, any area that you feel stifled, that you feel you need to release. This is about opening your mind, expanding your perspective, broadening your horizons. That's the energy that this new moon in Aquarius is giving us. On top of that, the extra layer, because I always have to incorporate the natal chart, that's the general information for everyone, for the collective. But for you personally, the way to customize this energy is to look at your chart, see where you have Aquarius. That's the area where you can explore fresh starts and broadening your horizons, incorporating some new, fresh energy, releasing stale energy related to that aspect of your life where you have Aquarius. And the way that you read your chart is you look at the start of the house, and that's the sign that that house is governed by, not the sign that the majority of your house is in. I will um, see if I can post an image here, but you're going to look at the sign that your house starts in, and that's going counterclockwise, reading your chart. When you start a house, it's that sign. So that sign might only be just the very beginning of that house, and then the rest of the house is governed by, the rest of the house is in a different sign. But the house that the sign that the house starts in, that is the energy, the overarching energy that governs that house. Okay. So you're going to look and see, okay, which house starts in Aquarius? That's the area of my life that I need to really take a look at to see, do I need to release any stale energy so that I can open myself up to newness, so I can open myself up to new beginnings and to a new way of being in that area of my life. On top of that, because I mentioned that there's an axis, the sister sign to Aquarius, Leo, look at the opposing energy, the opposing house. Look at any placements you have in Leo, because that is the area where you may have a bit of tension, because it's like a tug of war, essentially, of the energy, where you may feel some tension that it will essentially hold you back and hinder you from moving forward in this new way of being and of living and of thinking. So, the good thing to do if you're assessing your chart and your life essentially is to look at that, take a beat, reflect, be introspective. That's what I always recommend, especially during Mercury retrograde time, is if you want to fall back from implementing things, to still use that time in a productive way. This is a great time, especially if you are experiencing your Saturn return in Aries, to really take a beat and assess your life. There are some other once or twice in a lifetime transits that take place in our lives that I would like to discuss. I will put a pin in that and discuss those in a future video. But let's see. Another note that I have is that this is a time, because of Aquarius also bringing a bit of unpredictability, this is a time to expect the unexpected. You have to release your attachment to controlling the narrative in your life. You know, that's something that has been trending in recent years about us reclaiming our control and controlling our own narrative. But that's within reason. You have to sometimes, in order to embrace transformation and the evolution of your life, it's important for you to be open to what is on the horizon and what is next to come. Like, how can you receive what is coming for you, what the universe has in store for you? How can you be, how can you receive that if you're not open to the possibility of changing your life and of transformation? Pluto in Aquarius right now is really compelling us to open ourselves up to the possibility of the unknown. So expect the unexpected. Next, let's see. We have, I didn't really touch on the sun in Pisces too much, but the sun in Pisces, so Pisces season, like I said, the sun is about our identity. This is a great time to really imagine what can happen, imagine the possibility of things, to dream a little more. One of my favorite quotes from Edgar Allan Poe is, "Those who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night." And I'm telling you, this is a great opportunity to dream, to allow yourself to dream and imagine the possibility of realizing your dreams. As we get closer to spring equinox or fall equinox, if you live in the southern hemisphere, this is an astrological new year as well coming up. And once we reach Aries season, when the sun enters Aries on March 20th, that is a great time to not only start fresh, but to open yourself up to new beginnings. So allow yourself the opportunity to evolve, to elevate, to grow, to start anew, to start fresh. No matter what stage you are in your life, no matter what season you're in, everyone has an opportunity to grow in some capacity, to learn new things, to do new things, to do things in a different way, to get a different outcome, to embark on uncharted territory. There's literally nothing to it but to do it. So it has been my pleasure to connect with you today. If you're still here, I thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to speaking to you again in the very near future. Ashe, be well, be easy, dream, 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 dream. Peace.